Yo guys, Xygor here. I wanted to bring you a new guide for a new build that's kind of come up that I've kind of tweaked to my liking, and that is the Crusader Lightning Sweep build. I wanted to just go into every aspect of this build, starting with the gear, going into the gems. We'll hit on the abilities, the passives, the Paragon points, and maybe show you a little bit of gameplay here. So let's get right into it. This build is based on the 6-piece roll-in set. So you want to have the helm, the shoulders, the gloves, the chest, the legs, and the boots. And your priorities with the helm is going to be strength, crit hit chance, and sweep attack damage. With the boots, it's going to be an all resist pair with sweep attack damage and strength and vit. With the pants, you want an all resist pair with strength and vit. The gloves, you want high strength, high vit, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage. When you push this build to the limit, you can potentially take like 8% cooldown instead of vit, but right now I'm a little bit low on vit, so I'm going to hold on to these gloves for a while. These are pretty good gloves. But the shoulders, you have a few choices. I like to go strength vit, all resist, and cooldown as my fourth primary roll on it. You can also go life percentage if you need life. The chest, you want strength vit and life percentage, or you can go strength vit, elite reduction. I have some good secondaries on these, so I decided to keep this one. The belt, there's two choices, and I think they're almost equal. If you want more damage, take the Thunder God's Xygor. This is a lightning-based spec, guys, so this is going to help your damage quite a bit. This happens to be a pretty good one for a non-ancient one, 15%. You're looking for strength vit, all resist, and 15% here. The proc rate's 122% out of a possible 130, so it's pretty good there too. String of Ears gives you much more mitigation in melee, and with this, if you use this, you want strength vit, all resist, and life percentage on it. This is actually pretty good strength of Ears because it has a little bit of freeze chance on it too, but right now I'm rolling with Thunder God's Xygor. Next, so the best neck to get for this is either Amara's or a well-rolled Hellfire Amulet. This build can benefit a little bit from an additional passive, not as much as some other classes, but a little bit it can. I happen to get a really good neck that's rolled with lightning percentage, so I'm just keeping this for now until I upgrade. With the rings, so the two rings you generally want to use are Convention of the Elements and Unity. With Unity, you want to see if you can get one with a socket so you can roll the strength off to crit hit chance. With the Convention of Elements, you want to have either strength, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage, or I think optimally this build will be better with cooldown percentage, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage. So you can get the 8% extra cooldown out of there. The two items that make this build basically go, the engine for them, are the Golden Flense. Now, Golden Flense is a pretty rare item. It's not like rare to the extent as Furnace, but I don't have an ancient one yet, but this is the weapon that you need for this build. It allows you to give more wrath per sweep attack that you do per enemy hit. This keeps your wrath up. It generates the hell out of your wrath when you're hitting groups of enemies, which I'll show you. I could really benefit from an ancient. I think that up to about 52 Greater Rift is doable with a non-ancient, but like for 45 or for 54 and above, you pretty much need an ancient, I think, to get into those consistently. The other item that is optimal for this build and really is a part of how it works is the Denial Shield. Now this was kind of a piece of crap shield before this patch, but they added a new affix to it. Every enemy that's hit by your sweep attack increases the damage of your next sweep attack, stacking up to 5 times. So this is really going to increase your damage. You guys will see that in a second here. That is what makes these go. Now for gems, we go Taeguk. It just builds your damage and your survivability up. Bane of the Trapped, you really benefit from the extra damage. And the Esoteric Alteration. So Esoteric Alteration just gives you a big damage reduction. Alternatively here, you could go the Gizzard gem. You could go something else for more damage, but I like to go this gem. This is a really good, just all-purpose gem for survivability. The Gizzard's also an option here. So, alright, let's talk about the abilities real quick. Sweep Attack, Trip Attack. This is your option. It's a lightning-based sweep attack. And this is the reason why it works, is because you're stunning the enemies because they're being stunned. and you're gaining survivability from your Ancient Parthan defenders also. So when you're stunning the enemies, you're going to benefit from a ton of extra damage reduction. I have a pretty good Ancient Parthans here. Steed Charge, Drawn Quarter, I use this to group enemies up. Alternatively, you could use Condemn with Vacuum here. However, I think that this offers a slight advantage because you're able to also use it to, you know, for movement and also to avoid attacks. Like if you need to run out or if you get trapped in the middle of enemies, that's something you want to avoid with this build. You can use this utility. I've seen some builds that run Condemn and Steed Charge, so Condemn with Vacuum and Steed Charge with Drawn Quarter. I don't like to do that. I think you're taking up one extra slot where you don't necessarily need to right now. Shield Glare, I run Shield Glare with Divine Verdict, just gets me able to pump out more damage. When the roll-in set works, it starts to reduce my cooldowns with the bonus from the roll-in set that got added in this patch. Every use of Shield Bash and Sweep Attack reduces the cooldowns of your laws and defensive skills. This is considered defensive skill. So you can pretty much almost spam this, it just does additional damage. Iron Skin with Steel Skin, just additional survivability, great survivability option. Steel Skin extends the survivability. Laws of Valor with Unstoppable Force, it is the engine that you use to pump up your Wrath. It's a generator option when this build is obviously lacking a normal generator attack. This keeps it going. Alternatively, if you needed survivability instead of damage, you can go with Laws of Justice here with Immovable Object, and that gives you a lot of defense or decaying strength. Akarat's Champion Prophet, just get additional damage from this, plus the armor bonus that you get, so just more damage and survivability here. This is not up 24/7 like it was for, you know, a con setups, obviously, so this should be saved for elites and the Rift Guardian. So with passives here, we're going to go with Heavenly Strength. It's an obvious one for a two-hander. You need a two-hander with a shield with this build. Binary just gives you a big strength bonus for more gems in your gear. I'll go to this one first. Indestructible just allows for more survivability and revives you from the dead and allows you to do more damage. It's just a way to ensure better consistency at higher rifts. If you're not doing really high rifts, you can drop this for, I'd recommend Holy Cause. And Long Arm of the Law just extends the duration of Unstoppable Force. Even though Laws of Valor comes up quite a bit, it's not going to be 24/7 all the time unless you have Long Arm of the Law. If you're not having that many problems with Long Arm of the Law uptime, you can switch this to Holy Cause as well. And then a fifth passive that I recommend is Vigilant. If you were to... The fifth passive really should be either Vigilant or Holy Cause, in addition to these, if you get a Hellfire. So that's basically it. Let's go into the Paragon. With your core Paragon, I like to put it all into Maximum Wrath and Movement Speed. Maximum Wrath just gives you the ability to raise over the threshold that you would normally. This is sometimes helpful because you do get quite a bit of Wrath extra with Laws of Valor. It'll start to replenish while you're running and not attacking stuff, so you just get more Wrath overall, which is really helpful for damage in this build. Movement Speed needs to be maxed first priority, then Maximum Wrath. Then I have it dumped into Strength. For offense, you want to go crit hit damage, crit hit chance, and then you can go attack speed or cooldown reduction. I'm just going attack speed, but really it's not needed. I recommend cooldown first. I was just playing around with some things there, so let's go cooldown first, then attack speed. And then for your defensive section, I would go resist all first, armor second, life third, and then life regen. And utility, we can go reduce cost reduction is really important, so I'd go that #1, then area damage, then life on hit, then gold fine. Everyone's favorite Paragon, right? So that's basically it for gear and abilities. Let's show you guys a little bit of how this works. I'm just going to hop into a 49. 49 I just did last night, should be doable. Let's see what kind of rift I get. It's pretty good so far. Basically, I'm just spamming my sweep attack here. Just try to avoid some of the abilities. You can see how my Taeguk stacks rise, my cooldowns come up pretty quick. I'm shield glaring when I need to. Basically spamming. I'm in poison. It's not hurting me that bad, but I want to get out of it. Group up the enemies again, shield glare again, start going to town. That's basically what we do. Elites, you don't want to focus on too much. Your single target is not that great with this build, but when they're grouped up like this, it's actually not bad. So I have it grouped up. Kind of got in a bind right there, so I did my Steed. He has shielding, which is kind of tough to deal with sometimes, so you just have to keep grouping them together. Go. That's basically it. My follower just did that, his ability there. It's helpful. There's the elite down. So I might have even spent too much time on that, but I wanted to show you guys an elite. So that's basically the way that this build works. Now let's show you some footage of the Rift Guardian. So there's some Rift Guardian footage, guys. Just a few gameplay tips to share. Number one, keep your Taeguk stacks up because you're going to lose the stacks when you're walking across areas. So sometimes you'll have to walk like this, do it again to refresh it, do it again. You're going to lose stacks unless you keep doing that, but it's going to really help your survivability and your attacks. Also, try to avoid being trapped in the middle of mobs. There's going to be sometimes maybe when you get trapped in like a big group of mobs, you definitely want to either Steed Charge away from it or try to not to get in that situation in the first place. If you do that, you're not going to be able to stun stuff that's behind you, and it can really leave you vulnerable in general. This build kind of thrives on the ability to stun lock them and give you mitigation with Parthens, but if they sneak up behind you and hit you, it can be, it can be challenging. Also, do kind of single hits and pivot around groups of mobs when it's feasible. You're going to have to do that sometimes, especially when it gets to higher rifts, like into the 50s, so that you can avoid attacks and affixes. Convention of Elements, just one thing on that. Convention of Elements will alternate through the elements. And when you get lightning, you're going to start to do a ton of damage. It's going to be awesome damage. Make sure to time it as such. So use your Akrat's champion at those times. Also, you would like to shield glare. When you shield glare, you'll do more damage. Akrat's will amplify it too. So you definitely want to take advantage of that buff. It's just a huge buff when you get that. Just toughest affixes with this build is Fire Chains, Electrified, Reflects Damage, and a few others. There's some challenging affixes, most of which would affect any type of melee build. The best Rift Guardians are the ones that spawn adds, especially in close proximity. The hardest ones are ones that don't spawn any adds and have like an AoE attack. Like Veracity can be tough. Blighter's really, really tough with this build. The ones with pets are really pretty good, like Saxtress. Ember can be good. Bone Warlock. There's some others that are really good. Hamlin is really good, except for Hamlin's poison can hurt. So that's pretty much it with the sweep attack lightning build, guys. Check out my stream, www.twitch.tv/Xygor. And I stream pretty regularly. I'm going to get this up as a build on Diablofans and put it onto my YouTube site as well. So thanks for checking this guide out. Hope you guys have fun, enjoy it, and I might be able to update this going forward with some things that might be more beneficial. So thanks, guys. Have a good one.